What's good, y'all? Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it. As always, if you could, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you stay up to date with all of my future Teachable Tuesday videos. If you like this, this is going to be part 2 of a little mini-series I'm doing. Like I said in the other video, not really doing any series until next month, but something was on my mind, and you know when it's on my mind, we got to talk about it, right? So last week I talked about, well, I said last week, I'm tripping. I'm so used to doing these series week by week. Yesterday, I talked about things that you could do to attract the best suitable partner for you, the potential partner that you desire. Now I'm going to talk about the ways that you can keep people away that you really either don't desire or that just would not be a good fit for you overall. This is going to be a lot shorter than the other video because these points are a little bit more straight to the point. Don't need as much explanation. But number 1, here we go. You need to not pursue individuals that obviously have no desire for you. Now, I know some of y'all looking at me like, Marcus, go figure, duh. Well, I wouldn't be saying go figure, duh, if it wasn't the thing. A lot of us, both men and women alike, we have a very bad habit of pursuing individuals that we have no business pursuing, right? And I mean that in the sense of they're not good for us, point blank period, because they don't want us. All right, let's start there. There could be obviously other qualities, which I mentioned that in part 1. Go back and look at that if you want to know. But if a person flat out don't want you, why are you pursuing them? Why are you giving your time? Why are you wasting your time and energy? You could be shifting that over to someone else who will appreciate that more. Now, you might be like, well, Marcus, how do I know if they don't like you? Well, there's a couple of things. Number 1, if they don't ever take time to link up with you, they don't desire you. If they're not reciprocating effort, they don't want you. If every time you make plans, they agree and then they bail every single time, they don't want you. If you guys got a little something going on, maybe it's casual, but they're not trying to turn it into a permanent thing, they don't want you. And that goes for both men and women alike. I know a lot of people be like, well, it's the fellas. Well, it's the ladies. No, God darn it, it's both. All right? So don't be out here pursuing people that don't want you. I don't know why it's in the human heart to go after stuff that we can't have. No, don't do it. All right? Find somebody that is more suitable for you. So that's one way you can avoid potentially bad partners. Another way that you can avoid potentially bad partners is to identify the non-negotiables that you see, the cons or red flags early on. I'm not talking about the yellow flags. Yellow flag is not necessarily a bad thing. I'm talking about the things that are just blatantly obvious to where it's like, this is not going to be a good look for me. Or, yeah, well, ain't no or. Just this ain't going to be a good look for me, right? If you have a non-negotiable of you are a woman and you don't want to date a man that has kids, why would you date a man that has kids? Well, I just want to give it a chance to see what happens. No. If that's what you stand on it. Don't back down. If you are a guy and you're like, I don't want to date a woman who's in a certain, in a certain work field, right? And you meet a woman that's in that work field. If that's what you stand on that. If you know that's going to affect how you move forward. Now, I get it. You know, some of y'all like, well, Marcus, people should be open-minded to things and so on and so forth. And I agree. But if you have a certain standard for yourself, and that's what you are down for, or not down for, I should say, my bad, and that is a non-negotiable for you, why ignore it? Or let's say you meet a man or a woman, and you notice that they become very jealous easily, and you're not even doing anything wrong. That could be a red flag. You don't just ignore that. Now, I'm not saying you should just leave somebody just because you see a red flag, but you need to address it and figure out moving forward, how is this going to affect you? Is this going to be a good look? Can this be turned around? Or do you need to bounce? All right? And third and final way that you can avoid a potentially bad partner, right, is to Take into account your own future and ask yourself, do they align with the direction that you're going in, right? A lot of times people are not necessarily bad for us because they're bad people or they have bad traits. It could simply be they're going in a totally different direction than what we're going in. I live in Florida, right? Orlando, Florida, to be specific. To go to work, there's a certain interstate that I have to take, right? And that interstate is not I-4. Praise God, right? I ain't got to touch I-4. So if I go on I-4, that's going in a different direction than where I need to go to get to work, to get to my destination, right? So why would I take that way? With that being said, why are you taking away from your destination? If you're going one way, they're going the other way, and you guys can't compromise on the same meeting point, it ain't gonna work out. And sometimes people believe a certain destination means, oh, they're going one route, I'm going another route. Not necessarily, although sometimes that could be the case. Sometimes it's simply, what is my end goal? What is your end goal? Okay, we might be taking different directions in a sense, but are we meeting at the same end goal? Because if we are, that's a good person for you. If we're not, that's not a good person for you. And again, that does not mean that they're a bad person. That does not mean that they're not the person or that has like negative traits or qualities or whatever. Y'all don't have the same end point. Y'all don't have the same end goal. And I'll give you a more in-depth example. If you want marriage and that person don't, you guys might be traveling on the same highway for a little bit, but eventually you're going to diverge. That person will get off at exit 80. You're going to get off at exit 82. Because exit 80 might be long-term relationship, and that's it. Exit 82 is marriage and forever, right? So, yeah, make sure you are trying to be with somebody that has a similar end game that you do. And don't be afraid to ask those questions early. That's my bonus. That's how you could potentially identify someone who's a good partner, who's not. Ask the tough questions early. They will pay off in the long run. All right? Much love, y'all. It's Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Until next time, see you soon.